You know what's really confusing? Trying to figure out how to start investing when you've got like $500 saved up, and everyone's throwing around terms like index funds and dividend yields and asset allocation. And you're just sitting there thinking, okay, cool, but do I just download an app, buy some stocks? What am I even doing here? Yeah, so I get it. I spent years being intimidated by investing because I thought you needed thousands of dollars in a finance degree to not completely screw it up. And then I realized I was losing money every single day by keeping my savings in a regular bank account, earning basically nothing while inflation ate away at it. That's when I knew I had to figure this out, and fast. My name is Don, and I used to think investing was this complicated thing only rich people could do, when really it's just a series of simple decisions that anyone can make if they know the right order to do them in. And here's what I figured out. Starting to invest in 2026 isn't about picking the perfect stock or timing the market. It's about understanding a few core concepts and taking specific actions in a specific sequence. Before we get into it, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button if you want to see more content about building wealth and making smarter money decisions. Trust me, the step-by-step framework I'm about to give you is what actually got me from I have no idea what I'm doing to having a real investment portfolio, and it'll work for you too. All right, let me start by explaining what investing actually is and why it matters way more than you probably think. What investing actually is and why you're losing money right now. Here's the thing nobody tells you. If you're not investing, you're automatically losing money. Like right now, as you're watching this, your savings account money is losing value. Here's why. Let's say you have $1,000 in a savings account, earning maybe 4% interest if you're lucky. Sounds decent, right? Except inflation in 2026 is running around 3 to 4%, depending on what month we're talking about. So your money is barely keeping up with inflation, and after taxes on that interest, you're basically breaking even at best, losing money at worst. Meanwhile, the stock market historically returns about 10% per year on average over long periods. Some years it's up 20%, some years it's down 10%, but over decades, about 10% average annual return. That's the difference between your money sitting there doing nothing and your money actually growing and building wealth for you. Investing is literally just putting your money into things that will grow in value over time. Stocks, bonds, real estate, whatever. You're trading the safety of having cash sitting in a bank for the growth potential of owning pieces of businesses or other assets. And here's the part that blew my mind when I first understood it. When you invest in stocks, you're buying tiny pieces of actual companies. You own a microscopic slice of Apple or Microsoft or whatever, and as those companies grow and make more money, your little slice becomes more valuable. That's it. That's investing. The reason this matters so much is compound growth. If you invest $5,000 today and it grows at 10% per year for 30 years, you'll have about $87,000. If you wait 10 years to start, you'll have about $34,000. The cost of waiting is massive. So that's why we're doing this. Not because investing is some fun hobby, but because it's the difference between building wealth and watching inflation slowly eat your savings. Now let me break down exactly how to start investing in 2026, step by step. Step 1. Get your financial foundation. Right, week 1 to 2. Okay, before you invest a single dollar, you need to make sure you're actually ready to invest. I know that sounds boring, but investing when you're not ready is how people lose money and panic sell at the worst possible time. Here's your pre-investment checklist. First, do you have at least $1,000 in emergency savings? If not, stop. Go save that first. You need a buffer between you and financial chaos before you start putting money into investments you can't touch without penalties or losses. Second, are you paying off high-interest debt? If you've got credit card debt at 22% interest, paying that off is a guaranteed 22% return. That beats any investment. Kill the high-interest debt first, then invest. Third, does your employer offer a 401k match? If yes, you need to invest enough to get the full match before you do anything else. That's literally free money. If your employer matches 50% of your contributions up to 6% of your salary, and you're not doing that, you're leaving free money on the table. When I started investing, I made the mistake of opening a brokerage account and buying random stocks before I had any emergency fund. Then my car broke down, I needed cash, and I had to sell my investments at a loss to cover it. Don't be like early me. Get your foundation right first. If you've got your emergency fund, your high interest debt is paid off, and you're getting your 401k match, you're ready to invest. Let's move to step 2. Step 2. Choose your investment account, week 2. All right, you need somewhere to actually hold your investments. In 2026, you've got a few options, and choosing the right one matters because of taxes. Option 1. Roth IRA. This is my favorite account for most beginners. You put in after-tax money, it grows tax-free, and you can take it out in retirement completely tax-free. In 2026, you can contribute up to $7,000 per year if you're under 50. The catch is you can't touch the growth until retirement without penalties, but you can always withdraw your contributions if you need to. Option 2. Traditional IRA. You get a tax deduction now, the money grows tax-deferred, but you pay taxes when you withdraw in retirement. This is better if you're in a high tax bracket now and expect to be in a lower one in retirement. Option 3. Regular taxable brokerage account. No tax advantages, but also no restrictions on when you can withdraw. You pay taxes on dividends and capital gains. This is what you use after you've maxed out your IRA, or if you're saving for something before retirement. For most beginners, I'd say start with a Roth IRA. The tax-free growth is incredible, and knowing you'll never pay taxes on those gains is a huge psychological win. Opening an account takes like 20 minutes. I use Fidelity, but Vanguard and Schwab are also great. They're all basically the same. They all have low fees, they're all legitimate. Just pick one and open a Roth IRA. You'll need your social security number, bank account info, and that's about it. Transfer whatever amount you want to start with. Even if it's just $500 or $1,000, that's fine. You can always add more later. The important thing is to get started. Step 3. Understand the only investment strategy you actually need. Week 3. Here's where I'm going to save you years of confusion and probably thousands of dollars in mistakes. You don't need to pick individual stocks. You don't need to day trade. You don't need to find the next Apple or whatever. What you need is index funds. An index fund is a fund that owns tiny pieces of hundreds or thousands of companies at once. Instead of trying to pick which company will do well, you buy all of them. When you invest in a total stock market index fund, you own a tiny slice of basically every publicly traded company in America. Here's why this is brilliant. Most professional investors can't beat the market average over long periods. Like people whose full-time job is picking stocks can't consistently do better than just buying everything. So why would you or I think we could? Index funds give you instant diversification, super low fees like 0.03% to 0.1% per year compared to 1 to 2% for actively managed funds. And historically, they've returned about 10% per year on average over long periods. When I started investing, I wasted so much time researching individual stocks, reading articles about which tech company was going to dominate, trying to be smart. And you know what? My returns were mediocre at best. When I switched to just buying index funds and holding them, my returns immediately match the market, which is about as good as it gets for most people. Here's the simplest possible investment strategy that works. Buy a total stock market index fund, add money to it regularly, and don't touch it for decades. That's it. That's the whole strategy. The specific fund I'd recommend for most beginners in 2026. FZROX if you're using Fidelity, VTSAX if you're using Vanguard, or SWTSX if you're using Schwab. These are all total stock market index funds with rock-bottom fees. They're basically identical, just pick the one that matches your brokerage. Step 4. Make your first investment, week 3 to 4. Okay, you've got your account open, you've got money in it, you know what you're buying. Now you actually have to click the button and invest, which is where a lot of people freeze up because what if the market crashes tomorrow? Here's the truth. You cannot time the market. Nobody can. The best time to invest was yesterday. The second best time is today. Waiting for the perfect moment just means you're sitting in cash, earning nothing while you could be invested in growing. When you're ready to invest, log into your brokerage account, search for your chosen index fund, and place an order. You can do a market order, which buys it at the current price, or you can set up automatic investments where it buys a certain amount every week or month. I'd actually recommend setting up automatic investments right from the start. Pick an amount you can afford to invest every month, even if it's just $100 or $200, and set it to automatically transfer from your bank and invest in your index fund. Then you don't have to think about it, you don't have to time it, it just happens. This is called dollar cost averaging, and it's perfect for beginners because you're buying at all different prices over time. Sometimes the market is up, sometimes it's down, but you're consistently buying regardless. Over time, this smooths out your purchase price and removes the emotional aspect of investing. I remember making my first investment. It was $1,200 into VTSAX, and I was terrified the market would crash the next day. It didn't. It went up like 2% that week. But even if it had gone down, it wouldn't have mattered because I was planning to hold it for 30 plus years anyway. Step 5. Understand what to do when the market drops. Ongoing. At some point after you start investing, the market is going to drop. Maybe next month, maybe next year, but it will happen. The market dropped about 20% in 2022. It crashed in 2020. It crashed in 2008. This is normal. Here's what you need to know. Market drops are not a reason to sell. They're actually the best time to buy because everything is on sale. When the market drops 10, 20, 30%, your account balance will go down. That will feel terrible. Every fiber of your being will want to sell and stop the bleeding. But if you sell, you lock in those losses. If you hold and keep buying, and you're buying at lower prices, and you'll benefit massively when the market recovers, which it always has historically. The worst thing you can do as a beginner investor is panic sell when the market drops. The best thing you can do is absolutely nothing. Just keep investing your regular amount and ignore the noise. I lived through the 2020 COVID crash. My portfolio dropped like 30% in a few weeks. It was nauseating. But I didn't sell. I kept investing my monthly amount. And within a year, I was way ahead of where I'd been before the crash. The people who sold in panic, they locked in huge losses and many of them never got back in. This is why you don't invest money you'll need in the next few years. If you might need this money for a down payment or something in 2 years, it shouldn't be invested in stocks. But if this is retirement money or long-term wealth building, market drops are just noise. Ignore them. Step 6. Gradually increase your investments. Ongoing. Once you've got your automatic investment set up and you're comfortable with the process, the goal is to gradually increase how much you're investing over time. Got a raise? Increase your monthly investment. Tax refund? Throw it in your investment account. Found an extra $100 in your budget? Increase your automatic investment by that amount. The more you invest and the earlier you start, the more compound growth does the heavy lifting for you. Investing $500 per month, starting at age 25 versus starting at age 35 is the difference between having about $1.2 million at retirement versus $500,000, assuming 10% returns. Same amount invested per month, but starting 10 years earlier nearly triples your final amount. So the goal is to start now, even if it's small, and gradually increase it as you're able. The biggest mistakes beginners make. Let me tell you the mistakes that will cost you the most money as a beginner investor. Mistake 1. Trying to pick individual stocks instead of buying index funds. You're not going to outsmart the market. Just buy the whole market through index funds and move on with your life. Mistake 2. Panic selling when the market drops. Market drops are normal and temporary. Selling is how you turn a temporary paper loss into a permanent, actual loss. Mistake 3. Keeping too much in cash because you're waiting for the right time to invest. There is no right time. The right time was yesterday. The second best time is now. Mistake 4. Not taking advantage of tax-advantaged accounts like Roth IRAs. The tax savings over decades are massive. Use them. Mistake 5. Paying attention to financial news and making decisions based on headlines. Financial news exists to make you feel like you need to do something. You don't. Your job is to invest consistently and ignore the noise. Mistake 6. Trying to time the market by selling high and buying low. Professionals can't do this consistently, you won't either. Just stay invested. Your 30-day action plan. Here's exactly what to do in the next 30 days to go from beginner to actual investor. Days 1 to 7. Make sure your financial foundation is solid. Save your $1,000 emergency fund if you haven't already. Pay off high-interest debt. Figure out your 401k match situation. Days 8 to 14. Choose a brokerage and open a Roth IRA. Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab. Transfer your initial investment amount, even if it's just $500. Days 15 to 21. Research and choose your index fund. For most people, a total stock market index fund is perfect. FZROX, VTSAX, or SWTSX, depending on your brokerage. Days 22 to 28. Make your first investment and set up automatic monthly contributions. Pick an amount you can sustain long-term and automate it. Days 29 to 30. Create a simple tracking system. I just have a spreadsheet where I record my account balance once per month. That's it. Don't obsess over daily fluctuations. What happens after you start? Once you've started investing, your job is incredibly simple. Keep adding money, don't sell, and ignore the noise. That's it. You're not trying to get rich quick. You're building wealth slowly and steadily over decades through the magic of compound growth. Every dollar you invest today will be worth multiple dollars in the future if you just leave it alone and let it grow. The psychological shift that happens when you start investing is huge. You go from feeling like you're just treading water financially to feeling like you're actually building something. Every month your account grows a little bigger, and you start to see the possibility of real financial independence in the future. Look, investing as a beginner in 2026 doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to understand every financial term or follow the stock market daily or have thousands of dollars to start. You just need to open an account, buy an index fund, set up automatic investments, and let time and compound growth do the work. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. And drop a comment telling me if you're ready to start investing and what your biggest fear or question is about getting started. I read every comment and I'd love to help. Thanks for watching, and remember, the best time to start investing was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now, today. Open that account this week. I'll see you in the next one.